What if I told you that the next 15 days could reveal something about you that years of effort never could? Not your talent, not your intelligence, not your luck, but your ability to do what almost nobody else can. Because the truth is simple. 99% of people never fail because they lack potential. They fail because they cannot stay disciplined long enough to allow their potential to emerge. And the frightening part? Most of them never realize it. They spend years searching for motivation, years searching for secrets, years searching for the perfect strategy. Yet, the one thing that changes everything remains untouched. Discipline. Silent. Discipline, the kind nobody applauds, the kind nobody notices, the kind that happens when nobody is watching. Tonight, I want you to imagine something. Imagine waking up 15 days from now and realizing that the version of yourself who constantly procrastinated no longer exists. The excuses are gone. The self-doubt is weaker. The endless cycle of starting and quitting has finally been broken. How different would your life look? How different would your finances feel? How different would your energy become? Stay with me because before this video ends, you will discover a powerful principle hidden within ancient wisdom that can completely transform the way you approach discipline. And if you truly apply it for the next 15 days, something remarkable may begin to happen inside you, not overnight, not magically, but quietly, powerfully, and permanently. Most people think discipline feels like freedom's enemy, but in reality, the absence of discipline is the true prison. Look around. How many people are trapped by habits they never chose? How many people wake up exhausted, scroll endlessly through distractions, delay important decisions, and then wonder why life never changes? They are not trapped by circumstances. They are trapped by unconscious patterns. Ancient Buddhist teachings often remind us that suffering grows when the mind remains uncontrolled, and uncontrolled mind chases comfort. A disciplined mind creates freedom. Think about that. One mind constantly seeks immediate pleasure. The other builds a meaningful future. Every day these two forces fight within you. One whispers, "Do it tomorrow." The other whispers, "Do it now." One wants comfort. The other wants growth. One wants ease. The other wants transformation. And every choice strengthens one voice while weakening the other. The question is simple. Which voice have you been feeding? People often look at successful individuals and assume they possess extraordinary motivation. But if you studied their lives carefully, you would discover something surprising. Motivation is not their superpower. Discipline is motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Motivation depends on feelings. Discipline depends on decisions. Motivation asks, "Do I feel like it today?" Discipline asks, "What must be done?" This is why so many people remain stuck. They wait for inspiration. They wait for the perfect mood. They wait for certainty. But life rewards movement, not waiting. The monk does not meditate because he feels perfect. He meditates because it is time to meditate. The farmer does not plant because conditions are perfect. He plants because the season has arrived. And in exactly the same way, your future does not require perfect emotions. It requires consistent actions, small actions, silent actions, daily actions. Now imagine something unusual. For the next 15 days, you stop announcing your goals. You stop seeking validation. You stop telling everyone what you plan to become. Instead, you become silent, completely silent. No boasting, no explaining, no convincing, only action. Why? Because energy that is spent talking cannot be invested in transformation. The ancient masters understood this deeply. A seed grows underground before anyone sees a tree. A mountain forms silently. Sunrise arrives without noise. Nature itself teaches silent discipline. Growth does not need attention. Growth needs consistency. For 15 days, imagine becoming like that seed. Quiet, focused, unshaken every Day you complete one promise to yourself. No matter how small, no matter how difficult, no matter how inconvenient. Because every completed promise sends a message to your subconscious mind. I trust myself. And self-trust changes everything. Here is what most people never understand. The goal of discipline is not productivity. The goal of discipline is identity. You are not trying to complete tasks. You are trying to become someone new. Someone who keeps their word. Someone who follows through. Someone who acts despite discomfort. The moment you understand this, discipline stops feeling like punishment. It becomes self-respect. And self-respect creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum. Momentum creates transformation. So before we continue, I want you to make a small commitment. If you are ready to embrace 15 days of silent discipline, write this in the comments. I keep my promises. Those 4 words may seem simple, but they carry enormous power, because from this moment forward, we are no longer talking about changing your schedule. We are talking about changing your identity. And in the next part, you will discover the ancient principle that explains why some people transform their lives rapidly while others remain trapped in the same cycle for years. There is an old teaching that has appeared in different forms throughout history. It speaks of 2 forces living within every human being. One force seeks comfort, distraction, and immediate gratification. The other seeks growth, wisdom, and long-term fulfillment. Every day, these forces compete for control. Every decision strengthens one and weakens the other. When you choose comfort over purpose, the first force grows stronger. When you choose discipline over excuses, the second force grows stronger. This explains why discipline feels difficult in the beginning. You are not simply changing a habit. You are changing which part of yourself is in control. Think about your last 7 days. How many decisions were made by your future self, and how many were made by your temporary emotions? Most people allow temporary emotions to determine permanent outcomes. They sacrifice tomorrow for today's comfort. Then they wonder why life never changes. But something extraordinary begins to happen when you practice silent discipline. Day after day, choice after choice, the stronger version of you starts gaining ground. The old patterns weaken. The excuses lose power. The resistance becomes smaller, and eventually, discipline stops feeling like a battle. It becomes your nature. That is why these 15 days matter more than they appear. You are not fighting your circumstances. You are training your mind. One of the greatest mistakes people make is expecting immediate evidence. They want proof after 1 day, results after 3 days, transformation after a week. But nature does not work that way. Consider bamboo. For years, almost nothing seems to happen above the ground. Many people would assume growth has stopped. Yet beneath the surface, an invisible foundation is forming. Roots are spreading. Strength is developing. Preparation is taking place. Then one day, rapid growth appears. What looked like sudden success was actually the result of invisible preparation. Your discipline works exactly the same way. The first few days may feel ordinary. You may not feel different. You may not look different. Your life may appear unchanged. But beneath the surface, something powerful is happening. You are building roots. Mental roots, emotional roots, spiritual roots. The foundation of future success is quietly taking shape. This is why the first 15 days are so important. They teach you how to continue before visible rewards appear. And that ability separates extraordinary people from ordinary ones. Imagine a young monk sitting quietly on a mountain. Dark clouds gather overhead. Strong winds begin to blow. Rain falls heavily. The storm becomes violent. Yet the monk remains calm. Not because he controls the weather, but because he has learned to control himself. Most people spend their lives trying to control circumstances. The disciplined person focuses on controlling responses. Think about your own life. You cannot control every challenge. You cannot control every setback. You cannot control every unexpected problem. But you can control how you respond. You can control whether you continue. You can control whether you keep your promises. You can control whether you move forward despite discomfort. This realization is incredibly powerful because the moment you stop waiting for perfect conditions, progress becomes possible. The storm may continue, but so can you. And often, the people who achieve the most are not those who faced fewer storms. They are the ones who learned how to keep walking through them. Now let us make this practical. For the next 15 days, begin each morning with a simple ritual. Before checking your phone, before opening social media, before allowing the world's noise into your mind, sit quietly for a few moments. Take a deep breath. Then ask yourself one question. What is the most important promise I must keep today? Not 10 promises, not 20 goals. One promise, one meaningful action, one commitment that moves your life forward. Maybe it is exercising. Maybe it is reading. Maybe it is working on a project. Maybe it is saving money instead of spending impulsively. Whatever it is, choose it carefully. Then make a decision. No matter what happens today, that promise will be completed. This simple practice creates clarity, and clarity creates power. When your focus becomes narrow, your progress becomes faster. The mind stops feeling overwhelmed. The path becomes visible, and discipline becomes easier to sustain. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself 15 days from now. See yourself waking up with a different energy. Not because life suddenly became perfect, but because you kept your word. Imagine looking back at 15 consecutive days of discipline, 15 days of effort, 15 days of consistency, 15 days of proving to yourself that you can be trusted. Notice how that version of you stands. Notice how they think. Notice how they speak. Notice the confidence in their eyes. Confidence is not created by positive thinking alone. Confidence is created by evidence, and every disciplined action becomes evidence. Evidence that you are capable. Evidence that you are growing. Evidence that you are becoming stronger. The beautiful thing is that transformation rarely announces itself. It arrives quietly, one decision at a time, one promise at a time, one disciplined day at a time. And as you continue this journey, you will begin to understand why the promises you make to yourself are often more important than the promises you make to anyone else. Most people spend years trying to earn the trust of others. They want their family to believe in them, their friends to support them, their co-workers to respect them. But very few people ask a much deeper question. Do I trust myself? This question changes everything. Because every time you break a promise to yourself, a small crack forms in your self-trust. You tell yourself you will wake up early. You don't. You tell yourself you will start that project. You delay it. You tell yourself you will stay committed. You quit. Eventually, the subconscious mind begins collecting evidence. It starts believing that your words cannot be trusted, and when self-trust disappears, confidence disappears with it. This is why silent discipline is so powerful. Every promise you keep becomes a vote for the person you want to become. Every disciplined action tells your subconscious mind, I mean what I say. I follow through. I can be trusted. Imagine the strength that comes from knowing you can rely on yourself. Not occasionally, not when you feel motivated, but consistently. That kind of inner certainty is priceless, and it cannot be purchased. It must be earned. One disciplined day at a time. Many people chase wealth without understanding the energy that attracts it. They search for shortcuts, quick opportunities, instant rewards. Yet abundance often flows toward people who have mastered themselves. Why? Because discipline creates qualities that wealth naturally respects. Patience, consistency, responsibility, focus, self-control. Think about it. If someone cannot manage their time, how will they manage greater opportunities? If someone cannot control small impulses, how will they handle larger responsibilities? Ancient wisdom teaches that life often expands what already exists within us. If chaos exists within, more chaos appears outside. If order exists within, opportunities begin finding a place to grow. This is why discipline is not simply a productivity tool, it is an abundance tool. Every disciplined choice sends a signal that you are preparing yourself for greater possibilities, a signal that you are becoming someone capable of handling more. And the universe often responds to preparation in remarkable ways, not through magic, but through alignment. Alignment between who you are and what you seek to create. There is something almost sacred about voluntarily doing difficult things, not because suffering is the goal, but because growth lives beyond comfort. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort, yet every meaningful achievement requires walking through it. The disciplined person understands this truth. They stop asking, "How can I avoid difficulty?" and start asking, "What can this difficulty teach me?" This shift changes everything. A difficult workout becomes strength. A difficult conversation becomes courage. A difficult task becomes progress. A difficult day becomes resilience. Suddenly, challenges are no longer enemies. They become teachers. Imagine how different your life would feel if you stopped fearing discomfort. Imagine how much power you would reclaim. Because every time you do something difficult on purpose, you prove something important. You prove that comfort does not control you. And the moment comfort stops controlling you, your future expands. The path becomes wider, the possibilities become greater, and your potential begins revealing itself. Right now, wherever you are, take a slow breath. Allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your mind to become quiet. For just a moment, step away from the noise of the world. The endless notifications, the endless comparisons, the endless distractions, and simply be present. Now imagine a peaceful temple hidden deep within the mountains. The air is calm, the sky is clear, the world feels still. At the center of this temple sits a wiser version of yourself. Not a perfect version, a disciplined version, a version who has already completed these 15 days, a version who has kept every promise, a version who trusts themselves completely. Walk toward that person in your mind. Notice their energy. Notice their confidence. Notice their calmness. Now ask them one question. What do I need to understand today? Listen carefully. The answer may not come as words. It may arrive as a feeling, a realization, a quiet knowing. Trust whatever appears, because deep within you, there is already wisdom waiting to be heard. Silent discipline simply creates enough stillness to hear it. Words repeated with intention can reshape the direction of the mind, not because words alone create change, but because repeated thoughts influence repeated actions, and repeated actions create a new identity. So I invite you to repeat these affirmations slowly. Feel them. Believe them. Allow them to settle into your subconscious mind. I keep my promises. I choose growth over comfort. I act even when motivation fades. I trust myself completely. I am becoming stronger every day. I welcome discipline into my life. I remain focused on what matters. I create abundance through consistent action. I respect my future enough to act today. I am building a life I am proud of. If these affirmations resonate with you, write one of them in the comments below. Not for anyone else, for yourself. Because every declaration is a reminder of who you are becoming. And as you move into the final part of this journey, you will discover how to turn these 15 days into something far greater than a temporary challenge. You will discover how to make silent discipline a permanent part of your identity. There comes a moment in every transformation journey when something shifts, not outside, inside. It is the moment when discipline stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like identity. The first few days require determination. The next few days require patience. But eventually, something remarkable happens. You begin seeing yourself differently. You stop saying, "I am trying to be disciplined," and start saying, "I am disciplined." That small shift in identity changes everything because people protect what they identify with. Someone who identifies as healthy naturally protects healthy habits. Someone who identifies as focused naturally protects their attention. And someone who identifies as disciplined naturally protects their commitments. This is why the goal was never to survive 15 days. The goal was to become someone new, someone who no longer negotiates with every excuse, someone who no longer waits for perfect conditions, someone who understands that every action is shaping their future. And once that identity begins to form, life starts responding differently. Not because the world changed, because you changed. Many people treat discipline like a temporary challenge. They push hard for a few days, then return to old habits. But that is not what this journey is about. These 15 days are not the destination. They are the beginning. Think of them as proof. Proof that you can do more than you once believed. Proof that you can keep promises. Proof that you can remain consistent. Proof that your future is not controlled by your past. The greatest danger after transformation is becoming comfortable again, because comfort quietly invites old patterns back into your life. This is why awareness matters. Each day, continue asking yourself, what kind of person am I becoming? Not once a month, not once a year, every day. Because growth is not an event. Growth is a lifestyle. And when discipline becomes part of your lifestyle, extraordinary things become possible over time, not because of one big action, but because of thousands of small actions working together. Remember the title of this journey, 15 Days of Silent Discipline, that 99% never master. Why do so few people master it? Because silence feels uncomfortable. People want recognition before results, validation before effort, praise before progress. Yet true transformation often happens in private. The roots grow underground. The foundation is built beneath the surface. The strongest changes are usually invisible at first. The disciplined person learns to fall in love with invisible progress. They understand that every unseen effort matters. Every early morning matters. Every focused hour matters. Every completed promise matters. Even when nobody notices. Especially when nobody notices. Because when your discipline depends on applause, it becomes fragile. But when your discipline comes from within, it becomes unstoppable. This is the silent advantage, the advantage of becoming your own source of motivation, your own source of accountability, your own source of strength. And once you develop that advantage, very few people can compete with you. Take a moment and reflect on where you were before this video began. Think about the doubts, the distractions, the unfinished goals, the promises you wanted to keep but never fully committed to. Now think about what you understand at this moment. You understand that discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect. You understand that consistency matters more than motivation. You understand that every promise kept strengthens your identity. You understand that silent effort creates powerful results. Most importantly, you understand that transformation is available to you right now, not next month, not next year, today. The next 15 days can become a turning point, a line in the sand, a moment you look back on and say, that was when everything started changing. Not because life became easier, but because I became stronger, and strength changes everything. Before we finish, I want you to close your eyes for one final moment. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. Allow these words to settle deeply within you. I am disciplined. I am focused. I trust myself. I honor my commitments. I choose progress over excuses. I choose growth over comfort. I act with purpose. I remain consistent. I welcome abundance into my life through responsibility and action. I am becoming stronger every day. I am becoming wiser every day. I am becoming more confident every day. My future is created by the choices I make today. I keep my promises. I keep my promises. I keep my promises. Carry those words with you when this video ends. Let them guide your decisions tomorrow. Let them guide your actions during the next 15 days. And let them remind you that the life you want is often built through small choices repeated consistently. If this message resonated with you, write this affirmation in the comments. I keep my promises. I would love to hear where you are joining from and what commitment you are making for the next 15 days. And if you enjoy content about spiritual, growth, discipline, abundance, mindfulness, and inner transformation, make sure you subscribe to Silent Wealth Mindset and become part of this growing community. Until next time, stay present, stay focused, stay disciplined. And remember, the life you desire is not created in moments of motivation. It is created in moments of discipline, silent discipline, the kind that 99% never master, but the kind that can change everything.